Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Should You Play, where I'm going to show you some spoiler-free gameplay and give you my thoughts after playing new games for a few hours, as well as highlighting and checking out at least one of the PlayStation Plus games for each month. In this video, I'm playing one of the August 2024 PlayStation Plus games, Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, the dark fantasy platforming RPG that released in 2021 and is equal parts Hollow Knight and Child of Light. Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights follows Lily, the last and youngest white priestess, in a land ravaged by the Blight, a corrupting force that transforms the kingdom's inhabitants into immortal yet mindless and soulless creatures. On her journey to purify the kingdom, Lily is joined by the spirit of a knight who is bound to her, and is her main source of offense against the many enemies you'll face throughout the game. As for the rest of the story, you're able to piece together what happened to Lily and her world through short cutscenes and by picking up various notes and items as you progress. The controls are simple and very similar to a lot of Metroidvania-style games out there. Jump, attack, and move, in addition to a few other mechanics like switching your loadout and dodging attacks. You progress through areas by defeating enemies and bosses as you travel along a fairly linear map system, and after about 30 minutes of progress, you'll be able to start fast traveling around to past areas to find collectibles or hidden areas that you may have missed, which you're able to identify using the in-game map system and legend. As you advance through the kingdom, you'll find relics and residues scattered across the world which can make you stronger or be able to take more damage. And they're usually hidden in hard-to-reach corners of the map, so exploration is almost always rewarded. Furthermore, you'll also be able to obtain new abilities from the bosses and mini-bosses that you defeat. For example, defeating the first boss in the game grants you the ability to use a double jump, providing you the capability to get to hard-to-reach areas, but you're also then able to use that boss's spirit in battle against other enemies, and you can have up to 6 spirits equipped between your 2 loadouts at any given time to give you an edge in battle. On the topic of enemies, there's a fairly good variety of creatures that you'll come across on your journey, but the bosses especially are 2D spectacles that are challenging, but not so challenging that you'll ever feel like you need to take a break after losing to them for the 50th time in a row. And if you do happen to find yourself dying to enemies regularly, you'll respawn at respite checkpoints that you'll come across in your travels, and you won't lose any of your game progress or experience. So if you struggled in a more difficult area for a while and died right after opening a gate up, that gate will still be open when you respawn. When you're not being beaten down by giant hammers or clawed to death though, you'll be able to take in the game's artistic elements, because the game is frankly beautiful and presentation is definitely Ender Lilies Quietus of the Nights' strongest feature. Not only is the game's art style visually stunning, showing off a nice mixture of gothic horror and watercolor splashes, but the soundtrack by Japanese classic indie music group Millie is fantastic and utilized incredibly well between the free roam and boss areas. With regards to bugs and glitches, I honestly didn't notice a single one in my 5-ish hours of playing, but I'll mention 3 quick things that sort of irked me while playing. The first thing I noticed was that, even after you gain access to your double jump ability, visually it looks like almost all of your ledge grab attempts will fail when jumping, and it could have looked a little cleaner. The second thing I'll mention is that some of the combat lacks weight and feels floaty even when you're swinging a giant hammer at a group of enemies. And the third item on my list, some of the checkpoints are really unforgiving, especially considering the fact that most of the other elements in the game are more lenient. But with regards to actual glitches and bugs, there were none that I personally experienced. At its heart, Ender Lilies Quietus of the Nights is a beautifully somber and fairly challenging action-adventure title that, in my opinion, is a lot more accessible to new players than titles like Hollow Knight are, and could even act as a gateway game to the rest of the subgenre. But I think that even experienced gamers will enjoy this title, and since it's free to play for PlayStation Plus subscribers at the moment, there's no harm in giving it a shot if you're still on the fence. As always though, this is just my opinion. If you're still trying to purify the kingdom, or if you've already beaten the game, let me know in the comments what you thought of Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.